lead at Incheon, 1-0, the league leaders. That's of potential concern to Ulsan, who 1 point behind in second. They were before kickoff. Live league table would be slightly less close right now. Inside the final 5 minutes for half-time. Stoppages also to be factored in. Looks for the return. Nice little back heel in there. Do have a slight issue. They lost Sol Young-woo to a transfer, and playing Unirog at right back. It's not where you would have envisaged him necessarily at the start of the season. Shim Sung-min has come in now for Im Young-jae in his absence. On the bench they've got 23-year-old former Pohang youth who can play at right back, Kim Joo-hwan. They don't seem to have the depth. Maybe that's one of the reasons that drove their decision to go 3 at the back. That visit to Pohang last time didn't work out. Might be forced into that experiment again though, if they lose their wide defensive options. Eong playing it in. Trying to head it back towards the box, can't find enough on it. Less convincing finish to the half for Ulsan. They started quite well. They created a chance that On Won-sang might have put away had he had a chance to warm into the game a little. Since then, there's been some half chances, even having the ball in the back of the net ruled out after a corner that drifted out of play. So Ulsan certainly not entirely sitting back, but they've not been exactly putting Suwon to the sword either. And Suwon, if they bide their time, I'm sure they know chances will come their way again. And that's the best opportunity opportunity of the game with a close-range header that was put over by Ji Dong-won. For Suwon, he's going to try to lift it over. Well, I thought he was going to try to lift it over to Park Chorui. Instead, this time played it along the ground towards Ji Dong-won, but it's a bit too ambitious. Boyanich has it back for Ulsan. Over the top, but Ji Dong-won was surrounded by Ulsan shirts, so being able to reach him there was always going to be a difficulty. Boyanich. Jong-un has space and time to work with. Step away from Chun Min-kyu. It's another. Boyanich though can maybe open one up. On that occasion though, Kim Ki-hee finds Kang Yeon-woo, whose effort is harmlessly blocked by the keeper. No hurry from Anjun-soo. Seemingly happy to see out half-time in a very underwhelming fashion. I don't particularly think the crowd even would appreciate that. The home crowd, that is, the away crowd certainly wouldn't. So we reach 3 minutes. It's like they're just waiting for second half to really get going in this game. Suwon might be punished. They might regret that sort of time wasting later on. We'll see how they show ambition or otherwise in the second half. Join us for that in just a few minutes.
그것도 통장에서 달마다 다이커맨 혜택 달달하나 하나은행.
and have the chance to just reset themselves. They've made a change at the break. Daji off, Son Junho on. Straight swap in midfield. Ulsan have also made a couple of adjustments. Seen Jang Chi-young, Kim Min-hyuk on. Confirmation, two players to come off. Kim Sung-min and Kang Yong-gu. Now Kang Yong-gu is the under-22, has often made way in games. With another under-22 and Jang Chi-young on, that means they can go ahead with 5 changes. The other one's interesting. Kim Sung-min wasn't quite settling in at left back. There's Lee Sung-woo, top scorer for Suwon FC, joint top scorer in the whole division. A real blow not to have him available for Suwon FC. But yeah, I think Jang Chi-young will slot in on the left-hand side. Do seem to be lacking in that experience on the flanks, the defensive flanks. Midfield role that Bojanic sometimes also takes up. Bojanic has been particularly good today with those defence splitting passes. Something that Suwon have to really guard as much as anything else from Ulsan today, because Bojanic's ability to pick out a man means right time, right place. He could put Jumin-gyu or an Onwon-sang through to break the deadlock. Well, there's Saka Ataru. Very important touch. Just did enough to deflect the ball away from an Ulsan attacker. Pak Choru has gone down in pain. And he's dished out a fair few fouls this year. He's been booked more times than any other player in the division. 6 yellows this season. Pak Choru, this time he's the one who's gone down. This was the touch earlier. That just improvised aerial block from Kang Sang-yoon made sure that it wasn't going to find its way into danger. That's the later challenge from Yunirok, Pak Choru. Son Junho, another one of the old Jeonbuk guard who know all about playing against Ulsan in big games. And here is a nice turn inside from Jong Seung-won. He's having a good season. He's so full of energy, but he's showing real quality to go with it. Let's just have a closer look at what he did here, because he's got Bojanic who's been left behind there, and then it's Jang Chi-young who tracks him in the end. Clearance has obviously led to this corner now. Taehan nowhere to strike it there. Too many bodies away. I'm sure no one wants to hear it from Suwon's side, but a draw, a 0-0 draw even, would be a fantastic result for them. So right now, the onus is on Ulsan. Kimcheon, their title rivals, unlikely as it might have been and as difficult as it is to accept because pre-season expectations. Kimcheon, their title rivals at the top of the table currently, 1 point ahead coming into this weekend, are leading at Incheon, which means they have a 3-point lead as things stand. Still got Pohang to play this weekend as well. Seeing these passages continue that we had in the first half of Ulsan, slow, patient build-up. It only really works if they back it up with something. Bojanic a bit too ambitious, that incisive attempt. Spotting ball has walked out of his manager's area. Starting to let the frustration build because it was relatively calm. East Coast Derby defeat last weekend. So often he sees his team find enough in a game to grind out a result, even if it's not quite going according to plan. Song Jun-ho hoping to marshal things. Make a real difference defensively for Suwon FC, actually, having him in front of the central defenders. Crowded out there on his attempted burst forward. It's an interesting balance having him at Pak Choru. You'd think maybe at some point let Pak Choru go into his left back role, roam forward and bring Anderson on. Don't know if Anderson's carrying a knock or if he's been unwell, because it's a strange one, leaving him on the bench even now. Star player for Suwon. Considerations on the very near horizon. Suwon FC have a challenging follow-up game. After this, they go away to Kimcheon. Real form team. Ulsan have Gwangju at home. Both those games are midweek, but Suwon's is even sooner. It's Tuesday. Ulsan next in action on Wednesday evening. But this is a Friday night game, so both teams have the benefit of getting the weekend underway early. Neither side will have too much of an excuse for being overly fatigued, especially Ulsan. The only thing is then you've got the weekend after to think about. potential at under 22, substitute number 28 for Ulsan, Jang Si-young, likes to attack. Just looking at the defensive shape though, it does leave Ulsan potentially vulnerable to the counter. Park Cho-ru, Kang Sang-yoon, we know he's got quality, it's a good effort. At least the pass in was a great effort. The actual attempted finish was pretty weak from Yoon Bit-garam. He just couldn't get himself set. And he just made contact with the ball rather than striking it. Big opportunity. Again though, it's that danger on the counter that's been there throughout the game. Just haven't been able to take advantage so far, Suwon FC. Kang Sang-yoon has been a standout though for Suwon FC. I've really got to say, he's one of the young players in this league. There's so many of them now attracting attention. We've seen one after another travel to Europe, sign for a new club. Just wonder how long it'll be till Kang Sang-yoon is seriously talked about in that conversation as well. Back to Yoon-il-ok, it's a high cross. Saka Taro to wait for it to come down. Jang Si-young helped to win it back again. He loves putting himself in an attacking position. Kim Min-hyuk wasn't going to get there. Park Cho-ru laying hands on Yoon-il-ok, immediately raising them in innocence. Just kept that in. Kang Sang-yoon turns well, holds off Ko-sung-bum, which takes some doing. Down for Ulsan. Kang Sang-yoon with rare mistakes. Seem to be caught in two minds. This game could do with an option like maybe Anderson coming in. And if not Anderson, if he's not in a position to demonstrate his fitness, then just got to be thinking about an option that can come on and offer some fresh legs in attack. This counter style relies on that sharpness. Maybe it's an evening for a young Indonesian international, Pratama Arhan, to make himself a hero. Having sent off in his only appearance so far, needs to get that one off his back. Song is going to come on for Ulsan. already brought on Kim Min-hyuk though, and question as to who's going to come off. I think it's either going to be Kosungbam or Bojanic, but I'm not sure you want to lose either of those based on the performance we've seen so far. And here's Anderson, who I've mentioned numerous times. If he's fully fit, it's just a curious thing to leave him out until now. If he scores the winning goal, it'll all have been part of the master plan, I guess. Saka, Ataru. Oh, he struck it in the net! Beating the keeper in his near post. No one could stop him. It looked like he was out of options. He just kept going. Well, just as the subs were being lined up, it's a big goal for Ulsan in a game they looked like they were drifting out of. Picks it up at the edge of the box. He's got 4 Suwon players directly in front of him and a couple more to either side. Doesn't look like he's got anywhere to go. Son Jun-ho it is. Man, I thought he's got to offer that defensive midfield stability that would make it harder for Ulsan to break them down. But Isaka Ataru was not to be stopped. Now, who's Ikuzan going to come on for? Ji-dong-won is making way for Anderson. Looks like Kosungbam off for Ikuzan.
울산의 이진이 선수 교체를 했습니다. 수원 구성원 선수가 나갑니다. 8번 이규성 선수가 들어갔습니다.
Well, it's a familiar feeling in Suwon FC's history to go down against Ulsan. Can they fight back? Anderson trying to help lead the charge. Son Jun-ho. One great thing from a neutrals observer point of view is that Suwon are going to have to open up now if they want to have a chance of winning, or at least drawing. Cannot sit back and wait for the chances to present themselves. Here's another stat for you. Ulsan have all their wins against Suwon FC, and even in their one defeat, they've never scored less than 2. Season generally they are averaging just about 2 a game, so Suwon have got to be ready for another Ulsan goal. It's going to require that much more of a push from them. But they also sat back far too much, let Ulsan have far too much of the ball and didn't try to maximise the counters that did come their way. What Let's see what the story of the next 25 minutes is. Tilting a little more in their favour. They don't need to get a 50%, but that 20% range doesn't leave them much to work with. Chang Yong foiled down that left-hand side. Collect those. Martin Adam, back from Hungary, duty at Euro 2024, is in the stands. Kim Min-hyuk is booked, the latest Sea Yellow. Not with too many, but something from Ulsan's point of view to be careful of. Seem to be struggling in certain areas of the field. Especially they will be losing their fullbacks to yellow cards. So Junho now leaves it for Eon. Passing is growing in confidence for Ulsan. Chun In-kyu. Done this a few times in the game, but since taking the lead, they just seem to feel not just comfortable with the ball, but comfortable trying to make things happen without panicking at all. That was the same replay of the same incident. Park Cha-ru and Kang Sang-yoon both in picture, but Park Cha-ru the one who made the contact there. Either way, we've got the Ulsan free kick and edging towards 3 points for the visiting side, matching the scoreline of title rivals Kimcheon away at Incheon this evening, also with around 20 minutes to go. Son Jun-ho complaining about handball, finally getting his way. Legends perhaps in the modern era, still playing their way through. Surprisingly decent season for Suwon FC, but one that could have been even better this evening. Just don't know whether they've fully backed themselves against an Ulsan side that just lost to Pohang last weekend. Might have been vulnerable, have been vulnerable at times away from home. And even at home they could only draw 2-2 against Seoul back in round 17. Their results have been fairly tight, even against struggling sides, like Daegu, for example, a couple of rounds ago when they won 1-0. Jamal back inside. Anderson. This is a man who can make things happen, but he's got Bojanic right next to him. Kwon Kyung-won going back to Son Jun-ho, who lifts it high and long, finds former Jeonbuk teammate Yeong again. Son Jun-ho advances on, he's waited it, and then it's loose, and it's going to be a goal! Hung Sang-yoon, well, a player who's been impressive all evening, and that's a goal that's come out of very little. Not seen too much of that from Suwon FC, certainly not this half. Son Jun-ho turned into attack, played it through. I think it was Jong Seung-won with a cross. It looked for a moment like no one was there, just needed someone to get on the end of it. Kang Sang-woo came out of nowhere. See initially it's number 3 Park Toru in the middle. Here's the pass. Jong Seung-won knocks it back. Well, Cho Hyun-woo from that angle is not covered in glory. Doesn't deal with it. Kim Ki-hee sliding to no avail. And it's 1-1. Suwon give themselves a platform. Well, they brought Anderson on the field at 0-0. They were trying to make that substitution happen. You felt, well, maybe now they're going to find that creative spark. At 1-1, perhaps we'll see a bit more of Anderson and the contribution he can offer. Go back to the game plan. They don't want to go back into sitting back too deep either. There was a little review there, I'm not quite sure. I presume they were just checking to make sure that it hadn't gone behind from Son Jun-ho's pass. We didn't really have a close-up of that, but maybe that's what they were looking at from the VAR booth. They don't really have the stats to show for it tonight. Suwon, they've not had much of the ball, they haven't created too many chances, but they've been in this game. And had Ulsan, say, run on and won 2 or 3-0, it would have been a fairly harsh reflection. Although, as I said, Suwon would have been punished for sitting back. Now they've got the chance to redeem themselves. Less than 15 minutes to go till we get the stoppage time. Ulsan, we know they can bounce back. There's no doubt about that. When you've conceded, struck back so many times, you must have such a core level of belief within your squad. Well, Suwon's keeper, Anjun-soo, had been having a very good game. He was beaten at his near post by Asaka Ataru. I think they were all taken aback by that. This is a bit risky. In the end, Anjun-soo plays it out, which is absolutely the right thing to do if the other option is give the ball to a striker and concede, as we've also seen happen. Nicely set up for a closing. Cross is a little too close to the keeper. But he's had to reach out and flap at it somewhat. Couldn't find his footing. Now Jong-Sung-won looks both ways. Plays it out right. Yoon Bin to Anderson. Need to get him moving. Jang Young-ho, but he's found it difficult at times to connect with Park Cha-roo down that left-hand side. They've lost possession there a few times. I think they'll probably find the idea of Pratama Arhan now a little bit too risky on the left-hand side, but you could make a case for it, because it's not like Jang Young-ho is proving to be a solid possession-holding option there. Of nervousness around them after equalising. Got to shake that off now. Find that belief that they can actually go on and win this. Anderson. Well, Anderson is never short of belief. His attempted shot was blocked. Anderson now, if he's onside, this is a great position for Kang Sang-yoon. Pass is flicked up. Move is still alive for Suwon. Son Jun-ho. Yong back with Jong-Sung-won. Any sense of spring and surprise, and Ulsan's now gone with all those white shirts back, and Kim Min-woo now lined up for a substitution. Maybe that'll be Asaka Ataru's evening done. Suwon FC are also making a change, but last time we had changes lined up, Ulsan scored. Players need to concentrate. So not that Suwon need to make any more under-22 changes, but they are going to bring Jo Jun-hyun on. And Isaka also making way. Kim Min-woo will slot in exactly where Isaka Akaru was playing. Kansang was given a lot to the cause this evening. Scored the all-important equaliser. Did he have more to offer in the final minutes of the game? Well, we won't have a chance to answer that. With a quick throw. Jo Jun-hyun, the substitute, cuts inside, he's gone down, looking like he's searching for a penalty there, a little too much. The referee certainly interpreted it that way. I don't think there'll be too much of a review. Boyanic Igusan turns away from Anderson. Visiting the crowd, making their voices heard, urging their team on, seeking a third title in a row, looking to cement the era of the Tiger. With a gift, slowed it down a bit too much. Suwon seeming two minds about what they want to do with this game. It's all very well cutting out unnecessary risks, but they're going to make mistakes one way or another. They may as well make them in the final third, trying to score. One tries to chase that down. Choi Hyun-woo's got to be a little careful. He's normally so composed, but this is a dangerous time in the game. Son Jun-ho. Yoonbit Garam needs to move the ball. Does in the end. Jo Jun-hyun to Anderson and then didn't find the Brazilian. No disrespect to Jo Jun-hyun, it's a tough game to come into. Kang Sang-yoon is a big player to bring off in this situation. As Joo Min-gyu try to head it down, Boyanic keeps things going. And it's Igusan, blasted wide. Well, it's a compact arena for multi-purpose use. This Civic Stadium in Suwon reflects in a way Suwon FC's recent history. They've come out of being very much in the shadows of the Blue Wings of Suwon, who have a World Cup stadium to call home. Fan base, you can imagine, for years we've been drawn in the Blue Wings' direction. This side, Suwon FC, has consistently made K-League 1 their home of late. Held on to their status last year, now pushing for top half status. So they escape, prevent an Ulsan attack there. Yumbit Garam decides to go right. He had options to the left, giving the ball away. Kim Min-woo looks for options, finds Lee Kyu-sung. On Won-sang. Claiming the thing that came off on Won-sang, but not winning his appeal. Oh, it's headed just wide. Kim Gi-hee. Bojanic's distribution is just so outstanding. And the header was great too, just couldn't direct it in. Anywhere on target, and that's going to take some stopping. Let's see that gap in the net might have been nestling. Georgian Hunt as well there. Anderson. German View has surely given away a free kick there, but it took a long time for the referee to blow the whistle. Kim Tae-han let out a cry. Pain. We've got another change here. This is a teenager coming on, Kang Min-sung. 19 years old. Toru off. Well, it's maybe a shame for Pratama Arhan. That's the sort of position he might have gone into there. So good to see another teenager involved in the K-League 1 scene. Steered the ball out of play. Well, I said earlier on, 0-0 would have been a good result for Suwon FC. It's also true of 1-1 for them, having had such an awful record against Ulsan. This would be confirmation of their top half credentials, both symbolically and in very real terms as well. There's still time for a three-pointer here, and it could go either way. Won-sang pushing for that, earns the corner. Bojanic goes short this time. It's just a shame for him and for Ulsan because he's so threatening with the balls floated in. Well, it's another bloody scene, I'm afraid. We've seen it earlier in the game. Kang Yeon-gu now in the second half as well. Not quite sure where he was caught, how he was caught. Meanwhile, it looks like Incheon have equalised in the closing stages of their game at home to Kimcheon. That might be a bit of consolation for Ulsan, not to lose ground. The leaders by just 1 point as things stand. Pohang still to play tomorrow. Pohang being just behind Ulsan. There was a clash, Joo Min-gyu into Son Jun-ho though, and I don't think it was intended, but it was certainly a clash of heads in there. As that corner was building up. Shockingly small amount of stoppage time considering, and we've used up all of stoppage time so far just with that. Let's see if we actually get 5 minutes. It should be at least 5, factoring that in. Unirog. Wow, he's chipped it straight in the arms of Arhan. When these teams last played each other this season, Joo Min-gyu scored deep into stoppage time, but that was only 2-0 to 3-0. Is there a more decisive stoppage time goal coming between these sides today? Son Jun-ho, newly bandaged, fighting with Kim Min-hyuk for the ball, somehow giving away the free kick there. I wasn't sure he necessarily fouled Kim Min-hyuk. Thought they were both fighting for the ball quite evenly. The decision has gone the other way. Thought the referee had raised his hand in the other direction. But anyway, here we are. Eon. And then Jun-hyung. Substitute Cho Jun-hyung. Got to have confidence to take it on from there. Struck it with force, just rising all the time. So, 30 seconds to go till we get to 4 minutes. Then, after that, it's anyone's guess how much the referee will allow for that head injury. Eong has left a trailing leg there. No free kick, surprisingly. Kim Min-woo was certainly caught off the ball. Jung Sung-won with the throw on, and Anderson takes it on. It kept going. There was, I think, a handball in there. Anderson's complaining. Kim Min-woo is complaining about the earlier challenge. If I was Kim Min-woo, I wouldn't be wasting too much time with that now. Not going to win those debates with the referee, and what you are going to do is rob your team of maybe 20-30 seconds. We are 30 seconds-ish over the 4 minutes of stoppage time. And the whistle blows again. Ball was moving, I think, for the goal kick. Just about a minute over. And that's gone all the way out for another another goal kick. Surely the full-time whistle is imminent, but we keep getting shorter, sharper whistles with players over-eager to get on with it. And there is the final whistle. Suwon FC have a draw against Ulsan for the first time since 2016. They end a run of 9 straight defeats at Ulsan's hands. Will it be a case of what might have been for them? I don't think they can say they deserve the win on balance, but they might have found it anyway. Ulsan, should they have done more as title challengers? Well, luckily for them, Incheon have equalised at home to Gimcheon, although they are still playing stoppage time. It finishes on the night here in this one, Suwon FC 1, Ulsan HD 1.
선수단이 팬 여러분들께 인사를 드릴 예정입니다. 먼저 이석에 앉아 계신 팬분들께서는 안전에 유의하시어 잠시만 기다려 주시기 바랍니다.